In this video, I'm gonna show you the exact steps you need to take to win a job. Literally, if you follow these exact steps to the T, you're gonna win projects. Look at Richard from R&R Construction. In the first 4 months working with us, he won $730,000 in contracts. He followed these steps. Look at David Morales. In his very first contract ever, he won a $250,000 deal following this path. Look at the message he posted in our 8-figure contractor community. And my client Abraham from H&L Kitchens just secured a $2.1 million apartment building project in New York following this exact path.
I just closed a $2.1 million job, another one.
So don't overcomplicate it. This stuff works. All right, let's go. Number one, research your clients in your area. The very best clients you're ever gonna have are gonna be local companies. I've used to be this huge fan of like Dodge and Blue Book and all these directories, which they still do have good value, but there's nothing like a local company that you can go visit them and you want to build the relationships. So you're going to make what I call a master list. This is going to be your master prospecting list. I want you to think of your master list like a little mini version of Google Maps. Imagine if you were able to go to your phone and say, "Hey Siri, find me clients that I could bid projects for." And she said,
"Here's a list of potential clients along with their addresses that need your services."
Boom. I mean, maybe in the future AI might be able to do this, but for now, let's keep things simple. Let's keep things old school. Face-to-face, eye-to-eye, firm handshake. Let's make a deal, right? That's the mentality you got to have. Nowadays, everybody's like, they're so busy. They're just emailing and texting and phone calling. Like they're trying to just be convenient. Listen, if you want to make more money, you got to get out of the convenience. You got to go visit people. You got to go talk to them face-to-face because they need to know that you're a serious contractor. Your primary method of prospecting needs to be visiting clients, and your secondary method needs to be phone calls, emails, and texts. All right. All that to say, make a list. Make a huge list of potential clients and put them in your CRM or put them in Excel. If you want to keep things really low tech, get Excel and just make a list. Super simple. All you need is the name, phone number, email, and the company address, right? Because we're going to go visit these people and we need to have everything easily accessible when we start making our schedules. And there's a very simple criteria. These are the things you have to ask yourself when you're determining if this is a good potential client for you. Number one, are they a successful company? Number two, do they win jobs? Number three, are they known in my area? Number four, do they have an actual staff? Maybe a professional company structure. Here's the thing, we don't want a one-man operation here. They're only gonna do like 1 or 2 projects a year. So you don't want that to be your recurring business, right? You wanna be doing 5, 6, 7 a year per client. All right, number two, visit your clients, please. As a business owner, you are the face of your company. Although in the future you can have salespeople, you can have your estimators. No matter how big you get, you always need to be the face. The relationship needs to be with you, not your sales team and not your estimators. Although your team can help you run the projects, close the deals, do the follow-ups, although they can do all that, your client needs to understand that without you, nothing runs. You are the face of the company. You are the brains of the company, right? There's a certain level of respect that when you go visit a client, let's say business owner to business owner, right? If you're the owner of your subcontracting company or you're the owner of your T company, you're talking face to face that it's not going to be the same than when your estimator goes or when your salespeople go. So it has to be you. Secondly, you want to build that relationship. You want to build that connection because these are business relationships that you're establishing that can potentially last you for years. So every one of these people that you talk to, I don't want you to think of the project. I want you to think of what's the potential that I have with this guy that if I partner with him and I team up with him and my team does a good job, this can be a client that for the next 10, 20, 30 years can give me work. I talk about the power of recurring business all the time. If you do that over and over and over, it compounds, right? Today we win 2 or 3 new clients, right? This year. Next year, 2 or 3 more. The next year, 2 or 3 more. In 5 years, you can have 15 or 20 repeat clients giving you a few $1 million a year each.
Since I've been working with Daniel for the past several months, I've actually learned a lot. Before I would just rely on referrals and stuff. And I've been going out and meeting GCs and introducing myself. And this morning, in fact, I went and followed up with one of the GCs and they gave me 4 projects here to bid. So, and they're due on Friday. So I got a lot of work to do, but
that's the power of this stuff in B2B, right? Business to business. We're not dealing with homeowners that are going to just give us one job. We're dealing with architecture firms. We're dealing with developers. We're dealing with general contractors. And these guys are going to give us potential work. They're going to give us work over and over and over for as long as you do a good job. So bottom line is visit your clients. Number 3, get on bid lists or vendor lists. We've researched the projects. We've visited clients. While we're doing all this, we need to be asking, can I get on your bid list, or can I get on your vendor list? Every general contractor, every architect, every developer, they all have their own list that they work with of contractors. Every single one, guaranteed. I bet even you have your own list. So if you're a sub or you're a GC, you have your own subcontractor list, or you have your own guys, your list of guys that you call on. That's your own bid list. They have the same thing. When an architect is working with an owner or a client, at the end of the construction, what's the question that always gets asked? Mr. Architect, do you know any general contractors that can do this work? Now imagine if you did all this prospecting and visiting that I talked about, and you got on a bunch of vendor lists with architects. Imagine if they all started referring you. Hey, I know this guy named Daniel from IM Builders. He's really good. Came by my office last week and they seem pretty legit. So why don't you give him a shot to give you a proposal? These owners don't know anything about construction 9 times out of 10. They're leaning a lot on the relationship they have with the architect. So if the architect refer you, you have like a 90% chance of winning that job, like for sure. Now, if you're a subcontractor, way easier. Literally, like these guys operate with a bid list. Like that's how they run their whole company. You're a sub, you call them and you say, hey, can I get on your bid list? They sometimes send you some paperwork, like a pre-qualification form to fill out, just to make sure that you're qualified to work with them, that you have your insurances and the background and the experience to work with on the types of jobs that they want. And voila, you're on a bid list. Imagine if you got on 200 bid list. You're literally going to get access to every single job in your entire city. The next problem you're going to have is you can't estimate them all. That's literally why I started IM Builders, because most contractors are so busy, they don't have time to bid. So we do have an estimating service in case you're interested. I'm going to put a link up here and in the description also. We do over $1 billion in estimates for GCs, for subs, for architects, for developers. So if you want to learn more about our service, I'm going to put a link again in the description and up here somewhere. Number 4, perform a bid sprint. Now, what is a bid sprint? We've just researched the clients, we've reached out to them, we got on their bid list, we're getting invitations in our email, right? So we've done the front end work. Now we have to bid the jobs. We have to estimate them. And you're not just gonna like, oh, I'm gonna estimate this one and this one, this one. That's not, there's a strategy behind it. You wanna do a bid sprint. We have to get your name out there. And if you bid one job every 6 months for a client, they're not gonna remember you. So what you want is you want your name to show up over and over and over on that list of every project. So all the estimators need to see IM Builders, right? That's my company, but imagine if it's your company. They got to see you over and over and over. You have to be showing up on that spreadsheet. You have to be showing up to the job site walkthroughs. You have to be showing up to the meetings about the projects, because they need to see you over and over and over. They need to know that you're serious. Now, it's kind of like marketing. How do companies get you to buy their products? They show you the same ads and the same commercials over and over and over. For example, look at Nike. Nike doesn't necessarily have the best shoe, but they have the best commercials. You're going to see the Tiger Woods, right? Golfing over and over and over. You're going to see the football. You're going to see all this stuff, right? That's how they get you to buy stuff. How do famous people get famous? You see them over and over and over on the screen, on your Facebook, on your Instagram, on your TV, right? On commercials or whatever, but you're just seeing them over and over and over. So subconsciously they get famous. The companies get famous, the people get famous. So if your name pops up over and over and over on their list, hey, who bid the drywall on this? Oh, it's IM Builders again. Oh, who bid the drywall on this other job? Oh, IM Builders also. Oh, boom, over and over and over. And you're going to all the meetings and you're shaking hands and you're visiting them and you're doing all this stuff. You're going to win jobs. The other thing a bid sprint accomplishes, since you're bidding back to back to back to back to back, you're bidding a large volume of projects for that client. And it's just a matter of time for them to win a job. Number 5, remove the time wasters off of your list. Once you do the bid sprint, you bid these 10 jobs and you do this over and over and over, right? You got to be ruthless. You got to start chop, chop, chop. You got to take them off your list, because at the end of the day, most contractors that I work with, that I've talked to, they could barely bid 5 jobs a month, right? Unless you have a good estimating system, you usually can't bid more than that. Some guys are doing 10. In our prime, when I was in the commercial drywall company, we were bidding 60 jobs a month. 60. Now, let me ask you something. Can you even get close to that? I hope you could, but the point is that you got to work your way up to that. Granted, we were bidding 60 jobs a month, and that's why we were able to take the company to $7 million a year in 2 years, because of our high bid volume. That's why I know this stuff works, because if you increase your bid volume, you're going to increase your jobs, your number of jobs. Because at the end of the day, what we want is, at the end of 12 months, we want to establish 2 repeat clients that are giving us 5 or 6 jobs a year. Now, if you're doing 5 or 6 projects a year and you're bidding on larger contract values, or let's say you're using my super sub strategy and you're bidding $200,000 and $300,000 jobs every single time, you're going to have a multi-million-dollar company. Think about that. Now, the super sub strategy is really powerful because you're able to multiply your contract value sometimes up to 5 times. So if you want to learn how to do that, watch this video over here with negotiations every time. Now, if our goal is to cut people, right? Because we want to filter this list. What do we consider a low quality client? Number 1, if you bid a lot of jobs for them and they don't give you anything. Number 2, if they bid a lot of jobs and they don't win that many, right? Number 3, if they're always negotiating down your number to like break even, or like where you're not even making barely any money, that's not somebody you want to align with. Just winning a job isn't good. You got to make profit off of it. And number 4, if they make you spin your wheels over and over and over, jump through hoops, work over the weekend, work at nights for these last minute bids, and then they give the job to somebody else, just that's what it feels like sometimes. You just want to backhand somebody. The truth is, at the end of the day, you're not going to win every contract. They have other subs they're working with. They have other GCs they're working with. Politically, they're not going to give you every job no matter what, because they got to keep people in their list. And if people are bidding and they don't get anything, they're just going to stop bidding for them. That's actually in your favor. If you keep consistently bidding, they're just going to give you something sometimes just to keep you. And all we need is an opening. All we need is a little window, the crack of the door open, right? To step in, knock it out of the park, and then they're going to go, whoa, this guy's legit. This guy can build my projects. This guy is going to be my new drywall contractor, or this guy's going to be my new concrete sub. Boom. Or this is going to be my new GC that I'm going to recommend to all my clients as an architect. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is why we do a bid sprint, because we want to have enough volume to win jobs. And number 2, we want to be able to cut the time wasters, cut the losers, right? And that leads me to number 6, bid more jobs. All right. So 1 through 5 was about the process to find the lead, bid the jobs, right? Build the relationship, right? Now, all we got to do to win these jobs is just bid more. That's it. We are in a numbers game. The more you bid, the more you're going to win. I know people who are terrible salespeople. They're terrible negotiators. They never call and do the follow-ups. They're relatively, somewhat, a little unprofessional, but they bid a lot of work, so they win a lot of work. Now, if you're professional and you're visiting these guys and you're doing the bid sprints and you're doing all this, if you combine all these strategies, then you're going to blow up. Straight up. The challenge is that every contractor has an estimating problem. You know what I hear all the time when somebody calls my office? I can't keep up with my bids. I'm always missing bid dates. I don't have enough time to estimate. I'm on the job site all day. I hear this every single day. And that's why I started IM Builders in the first place, because everybody's busy and barely has time to do work. Now, a huge question I get asked all the time is, all right, I called my clients, I got on their bid list, I'm bidding jobs now, what do I do now? Once you've submitted the proposal, that's half the battle, all right? You gotta follow up, you gotta do the steps, you gotta do the next steps to close the job. Now, in this video, we talked about all the steps to get on the bid list, to research the clients, to do the bid sprint, right? We just put out a bunch of bids. Now we got to do the follow-up. We got to do the negotiations. And in the very next video, I'm going to give you a step-by-step checklist, almost like a checklist of all the things you need to do to win the project. Let's go.